Okay, so you've done it. You've run the marathon. The research is groundbreaking, the data's in, the findings are written. But hold on, there's one final critical lap to go. We're talking about the project closeout. Now, it might seem like just a bunch of paperwork, but trust me, how you finish this race completely determines how easily you can start the next one.
So you've hit the end date on your grant. The big question is, now what? This is that moment where, honestly, the administrative details become every bit as critical as the science itself. It's all about wrapping things up cleanly, making sure you're compliant, and this is key, strategically setting yourself up for your next big win.
And make no mistake, this is not just about ticking boxes. The stakes are really high. If you don't close out a project correctly, you could be looking at sponsors withholding that final payment, getting nasty findings in an audit, or even having your next grant proposal blocked before it's even reviewed. This is about protecting your funding pipeline, your lab, and your entire scientific reputation.
Okay, so that sounds a little daunting, right? Well, the good news is you absolutely do not have to navigate this maze alone. A successful closeout is a total team sport. You, the principal investigator, are the captain for sure, but you've got a whole support crew ready to help.
You know, understanding this division of labor is everything. As the PI, your world is the science, right? You're focused on that final technical report, confirming you met all the project aims, and disclosing any brilliant inventions that came out of it. Meanwhile, your administrative team, your Office of Research Administration, or ORA, they handle the numbers. They're the ones preparing the financial reports, making sure every dollar spent was compliant, and submitting all that official paperwork to the sponsor.
And here's probably the single best piece of advice. Be proactive and schedule a closeout meeting. Getting the right people in the room early is the real secret to a smooth finish. This means you, your ORA team, any co-PIs, and definitely the departmental admins who handle the day-to-day payroll and purchasing. This one meeting can get everyone on the exact same page right from the start.
So how do you actually manage all of this? The key is to stop thinking of it as one single deadline and start thinking of it as a 120-day countdown. Let's break down the final 4 months of your project into a really clear step-by-step timeline.
See, it's not about one giant, terrifying deadline at the very end. The whole process is broken down into these distinct, manageable phases. We'll kick things off with strategy and planning, then move through those critical deadlines for purchasing and personnel, and finally, lock down every last expense in that final month.
All right, so this first phase, starting 4 months out, is all about getting organized. You need to literally pull out your award agreement and get reacquainted with the specific rules. What reports are due? How exactly do they want you to submit them? Then take a really hard look at your spending. Where are you over? Where are you under? This is the info you're going to bring to that all-important closeout meeting with your team.
Now, I want you to burn this number into your brain, 90. It represents a hard stop for a super important activity. That's right, 90 days out. This is your final call, your last chance for any major purchases. We're talking equipment, computers, big supply orders. You see, sponsors get really suspicious about large purchases made right at the end of a grant, so most institutions have a firm policy against it. You've got to plan ahead so you don't get caught out.
Okay, as you enter this 90-day window, you're making your final big moves. If you realize you need to shift funds between budget categories, now is the time to submit that budget revision. You're also double-checking that any committed cost share, the part of the project funded by your institution, is fully documented. And of course, you're making those last-minute, non-consumable supply purchases before that 90-day deadline hits.
And here it is, another critical deadline. This one really impacts all those small, day-to-day expenses.
At 30 days out, your purchasing card, that P card you use for all the little expenses, is likely going to be removed from the project account. That means any last-minute purchases for lab supplies, software subscriptions, you name it, has to be done before this cutoff. It's an automatic control to stop new charges from hitting the grant right at the finish line.
So now we're in the 60-day window, and the focus really shifts to time and people. If you're looking at your progress and thinking, there's no way we'll finish, this is the ideal time to request a no-cost extension. That gives you more time, but not more money. This is also when you must finalize plans for your grant-funded staff. Are they moving to a new project? Is their appointment ending? HR needs to know now.
We're in the final month. The race is almost over. The focus now is all about clearing every single last financial obligation. Get all those travel reimbursements in, make sure your staff has actually been moved off the grant's payroll, and please, please be sure to remove the grant fund from any recurring charges. You would be amazed how often an old phone bill or a forgotten software subscription can totally complicate a closeout. The project end date has officially passed. You did it. But there are just a few more steps to make sure the books are closed cleanly and your project is officially complete in the eyes of your sponsor.
So after that end date, you'll work with your administrator to look for any charges that posted late, just to make sure they were for things you bought before the project ended. Then comes the main event. You submit your final technical report. And as soon as you do, send a copy of the submission confirmation to your ORA. That little piece of paper is a crucial piece of documentation for any potential audits.
It's so important to remember that the final report is actually a final package. It's not just one thing. It includes your technical report, the final financial report from your admin office, any invention disclosures, an equipment report, and all that final paperwork from your collaborators. Altogether, these documents tell the complete story of your project, from the science all the way to the spending.
Okay, after all that administrative nitty-gritty, let's pull back and talk about the big picture. Why does mastering this process truly matter for your career? Well, it's all about what comes next.
This right here, this is the real payoff. When you finish strong, you ensure legal compliance, of course. But it's so much more than that. You build your reputation, sponsors remember the researchers who submit clean, timely reports, they start to see you as a reliable, organized partner, and most importantly, it means there are no administrative red flags that are going to pop up and block or delay your next, even bigger, research award.
So, you see, a clean closeout isn't just an end, it's really a beginning. It clears the path and it frees you from all those administrative headaches so you can focus on the thing that actually matters. So, with this project successfully in the books, what are you going to discover next?